And Wild Wine has got to ask about the taking the big splash off the cage from Rikishi. One of the unsung crazy moments in WWE history, and I think actually it is one of the unsung crazy moments from history. It never really seems to get put into, vignettes or montages. And I remember watching that at the time thinking, Jesus, someone's got a set of balls to lie there and hope for the best. Talk me through the entire, who presents you with that idea?
So from what I can recall, and I remember it being tossed around, and at one point in time, it was suggested that I come off the top of the cage, but it just didn't seem to make much sense at all. And I know Rikishi had no issue at first. From what I understood, Rikishi had no issue coming off the cage. And to me, that made a lot more sense when I was presented with him coming off the cage. But I remember we were talking about it all. They were looking up there and going, okay, if I'm laying right here, you think, you can hit right here. I'll be right here, bro. And I think the more concerned I was, got to remember back then in pro wrestling, I was of that mindset that it's got to look real. We got to figure out a way. And at the time, there were a lot of things in WWE that I would see happen that would man, they should have added a couple more things in between A and B, or A and D, because to go from A to D, it just didn't seem realistic. This was one of those times where there was no way to go from A to D and not make it look like it's not real, right? So, but the way we overrode that in our minds were, it may take him a long time to get up there and walk across, but the idea that that's drama, and he's going up to the top and he's walking across the top of the cage, the camera's focused, all the fans' eyes are up there, people will forget that I was just laying there doing nothing. You know what I mean? And in my mind, thinking as a wrestler, trying to make something be realistic, it's insane just to lay there. I took a bump off the top rope from the cage, hit the mat, and now I'm just laying there. But we wanted to make this moment happen, and there was no way really around that. It was going to take Rikishi time to get up that cage, to walk across. But here's where the expertise of the TV crew comes in. They kept the cameras on Rikishi. They kept it on his face. They kept the drama of him walking across that top of the cage. It was drama just watching him. Oh, you're thinking, all the fans are thinking, oh, please don't fall, please don't fall, please don't fall. And then when he finally gets to the middle and he's looking down, and then he looks up at the hard camera, all that emotion, you got to remember, all that money's right there, right? And what are the fans not doing? They're not thinking about why is Val Venis not rolling out of the way here? Why? They're not even thinking about that. It's completely out of their mind. So in this sense, the idea of me laying there for a long time was kind of inconsequential as to what it would be in real life. Obviously, I'd roll out of the way, but because the cameramen and the fans were so focused on Rikishi, they forget that I'm just laying there. And now it makes him coming off that top of that cage. And when he finally executed, not once have I ever been asked, why didn't you roll out of the way? It's always like, hey, did that really kill you? So I think it worked out perfectly. The fans completely forgot that I was laying there for a long period of time, and it was completely focused on what Rikishi was doing. And that's the combination of the TV truck people, that Kevin Dunn, and the camera crew staying focused and zoomed in on where the money's at. And where was the money at that point in time? While Rikishi's on the top of that stage, it's right there, right there on his face. And when he looked up to that hard camera right before he leaped, those cameramen zoomed right in on his face. And that's where the money is. That's the money. It was his face that made that whole episode of him coming off that cage realistic. People forget that I was laying there a long time, and it's because of what Rikishi did in combination with the camera crew.
Why did he go to the middle? Why didn't he do it from the corner like the classic Jimmy Snuka thing? Why was it so important he get to the middle in front of the hard camera?
That's a good question. I never once was asked that question. I never asked that question myself either. That's a good question. I never even thought he could have come off the corner. We could have done it that way. Maybe he wanted something different than what Snuka did off the corner, because Snuka did it off the corner. Or maybe in Rikishi's mind, he was thinking if he could walk, that's drama. Because I know that's when I watch it back, that all that drama was on Rikishi getting up to that top and walking across that top. And that was eyes didn't turn away from the TV at that point. And that's important to remember. So maybe it was Rikishi's idea to go to the middle. I don't know. I just know Rikishi said, if you lay right there, I can hit you right from there. And I was like, okay, let's do this. You know,
I've got a theory. I've got a theory.
Shoot.
Is it because Rikishi wouldn't get as much distance jumping? So if he was in the corner, you would see him not get as much distance. Whereas if he is directly coming towards you, then the sort of depth of field is completely different. So therefore, he can more just fall off, and it still looks as spectacular in that sense.
That's a great theory. That's a possibility. Absolutely. Good thinking. Good thinking. You got to like the critical thinking going on here. Heck yeah. Yeah. No, that's definitely a possibility. I never once ever considered that all these years until right now. You see this? You're stimulating the critical thinking abilities here. That's very good.
I like a bit of a mystery. I like a bit of a mystery, right? of the theory of everything going on.
Yeah, that would be a good question to ask for Rikishi next time. Why did he decide to go to the middle? You know, that's actually a good question.
Did he do the practice walk? Did he do a walk beforehand, or was this all first time?
No, was it the first? No, I think he got up there beforehand. I could be wrong, but I think he did. I think he did get up there beforehand and walk across. I think I remember seeing him up there. I could be wrong. I think he did, though.
And did it hurt?
So I can't say it hurt. He took really good care of me. It still knocked the wind out of me. You know what I mean? There was no way around that. But he took good care of me, man. I had no issues with it at all. It was he took good care of me, knocked the wind out of me, but nothing more than I've had happen before in the past. It was, you know, it is what you would expect it to be. You know what I mean? It certainly wasn't ballet, that's for sure. But, he took good care of me.
Yeah, I'm sorry to ask you that. I saved that till the end because you knew it was coming, but everyone wants that.